With Latin American Nationals taking place this past weekend, I'm breaking down the top 3 decks. What's up guys, it's Garrett with Talking Cards, and today I'm talking about the Latin American Nationals that happened this past weekend, ran by Sang Events. They put on a phenomenal event. I really wish I could have been there. Originally I was supposed to be there. I got to the airport, went to play a practice game with my buddy Diego, and I played Justice Gundam, and I realized I don't have any tokens with me. And to play in that event, you needed to bring physical tokens, at least have one physical token, which I did not, so I kind of was tilted and just went home. I literally left the airport and just said, all right, well, I don't even have a legal deck. We arrive past midnight or right at midnight, and then we literally have to check in for registration at like 8 a.m. and that's when you had to do deck check and stuff and submit your deck list. So since I wouldn't have a legal deck probably by 8 a.m., I just didn't even bother with trying to find tokens in Mexico and all that stuff. So that's why I wasn't there. I know I had hyped up like going to this event, and I was very hyped. Sang Events is known for putting on phenomenal events. And just from watching the stream, this looked like it was just another one of those, a phenomenal event. They did a great job, the stream's great, and I will link the stream down below for anyone who wants to watch some phenomenal games and just check out, you know, kind of how it looks, you know, with a Sang event, because it does, the stream does look sharp, it does look fun, and it really looks like they provide a fun environment for the players. But with that being said, I want to break down the top 3 decks, so let's go over the first one, the winner with 1 Year War. So am I surprised to see that 1 Year War won the event? No, 1 Year War has been super good since set 1. Hasn't even changed much. As you can see with this list, it's opting for the 1+1 of a, you know, level 2 cost 1 unit over the one of Char's Gelgoog, which is fine. I think either way you can do it is fine. And then it has the 2 Show of Resolve over 2 white base that we saw some people play out there in the East. So I think this is fine. I think everything about this is kind of what I'd expect. I'm not going to go over this list too much because this is what we've come to expect. I think 1 Year War was a great pick for this event. We saw it do super well at the European Nationals, and I mean, there it got 2nd place. So this is no surprise. This is no shock to anyone. And I'm not going to act like this is something crazy to see or anything like that. So we'll just move on to the next deck, which is also not crazy to see. Wing Zero. So Wing Zero, what is interesting about this list? I will say he didn't run the bird mode, but a lot of people have kind of backed off bird. He also put in a 1 of launcher strike. That's kind of interesting because it can, you know, survive a fatal strike, and that's a little tease for later. But however, we see 2 unforeseen in here. Some people have moved off of that this format. I'm still a huge unforeseen believer, and I'll post my list right here that I was going to play in Mexico. It's kind of close. I was a little heavier on the Shenlong line. I had 1 more Justice as well, and I still found room for 2 bird, 1 less unforeseen of course, and 1 less Wing Gundam, which is a fantastic card. And my blocker ratios were a little different. For this event, I thought, you know what, I don't need Zoert. I really don't. I need 1 just because I want to play 9 blockers, like early game blockers. But I really was fine not having Zoert because of the strong amount of sword that I was playing. And I really think that's still fine. I do see the 4th Ale here, and I think that's good as well. You'll never go wrong playing Ale Strike. I've said it from the jump, from, you know, my very first tournament way back in, you know, I think it was July, the last week before the game came out, when we had the full set already revealed and I won the Eagle's Nest event with Green White. I think he played 4 Ale and 2 Perfect Strikes at that time. Like, it was just, Ale will never be bad. It's still not bad, and that was all the way before the game even came out. So Ale Strike is perfect. We see 4 Liverists, of course. Like I said, the 3 Zoerts, I would just make that 2 Morvic Dios and 1 Zoert at this point. But everything else is really pretty stock and good. We know what Green White is. We know what Green White does. I'm not going to harp on this too much because I really think the 3rd place deck is a little bit of a surprise. Not in that we haven't seen it before, but in how well it performed at a national scale. And that 3rd place deck is Purple Blue. And I'm shocked to see it here, to be honest. I like Purple Blue a lot. I think it's one of the decks that is actually really primed for GDO3 to grow into even maybe be top dog. You know, I'm already testing for, you know, North American Nationals here, and that's gonna be GDO3. We're kind of going in blind without like a real heavy metagame solved or anything like that, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. And I think purple is one of those colors that really has an opportunity to just pop up and do super well at North American Nationals. So I'm gonna say it now. I think purple blue or purple white or purple something is gonna do extremely well. So let's take a look at what we got here. What are the interesting choices here? Really, this is the list we've seen for about the past, I'd say, 2 months. It's nothing crazy, it's kind of stock, and it's 10, you know, level 2 cost 1 drops, and then we get into our packages of Hayakarin, which is at a 3 of, and then our 4 Barbados that are at level 3, and then we have our Pingers, we have our Gundam, we have our Amuro, Mikazuki, Corsica, that sort of thing. This is really what we've come to expect, and I am surprised it did so well, and here's why. We've seen this deck kind of teeter off a little as far as like it did not top in Europe. Also in the Asian meta, we've seen it kind of fall out of favor as opposed to Green White Justice, which is top dog over there as well, or at least seems to be from the tournament results. So I am surprised to see this do so well, not because it's bad, it's very good, but you do need to see certain things. Like if you get stuck and just don't see a Fatal Strike sometimes when they have like 3 early game blockers, you can really be hurting because you can't do high maneuver like you can with 1 Year War. And I do think 1 Year War right now is the better aggro deck. So I am surprised to see this do as well as it did. However, I'm excited for the result because I really do think this is a color typing that is really set up to do well in the future. But with that being said, I do want to go over one unique list, and that's a red-blue list that got top 8. So this red-blue list is really fun, and it's really cool to see something like this do as well as top 8 at a national event. We have some biological CPU units in here, which is already pretty unique to red-blue as the archetype we know it. Then we have a unicorn package, a 2/2 of the destroy mode combo, which is unique to see here. We have our Rezels for mid-game, we have our Kshatriya, that's what's to be expected, but we also have a top end of Shamblo, and we also have support Zaft units with Buku. Like, this is crazy. This is a very unique list. 1 Battle of Aces, 4 close combats, and it has Sinanju still. We somehow found room for that in full frontal. We're on 4, 7, 9, 13 pilots, it looks like. Like, that's so many, and I don't know how he didn't brick every game. 3 show of resolve, only 3 bases. Super unique list. Like, I would think this deck would struggle against aggro, but maybe if you just see your close combats and you're a 6 HP base, you kind of get there. You still have Gundam Amuro for the early game as long as those, as well as those Rezels. And Kshatriya can come in and clean up a lot of aggro. So it's possible to see how this did well, but it's really cool to see just some experimentation and something this late into a format, because this pretty much wraps GDO2. And we have the Oceania Nationals happening, I believe it's the weekend of the 24th, but it's in 2 weeks, and that's gonna be the, you know, last regionals of the GDO2 format, if you will. I believe the new starter decks, Starter Deck 7 and Starter Deck 8, will be allowed to be used for that event. It's technically a TO call. So my assumption is that those starter decks will be legal, because it'll be like exactly a week, I believe, before tournament play starts and when it was released. So I'm gonna assume they're legal, so maybe that introduces some few things. Maybe people try Penelope or things like that into what is already good blue stuff. But we'll keep an eye on it, and I'll try to bring you guys a video for that event as well. And just thank you guys for rocking with me today and watching this video. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.